What's up, folks? We back at it again with the S2K. Today we're going to be doing kind of a controversial change to it. I got a Renegade shifter kit for it, so we're going to put that in. Alright, folks, so this is the Renegade shifter. Get out the way. Very nice piece for sure. Got the brass bushing on it. So we'll compare that to the old one. I'll take the old one out. Kind of show you length difference because it is a little bit shorter. Comes with this right here, new bolts. This aluminum collar. Not sure about that. And then I got a couple other pieces. This from Hybrid Racing for the shift boot collar. This obviously is not needed, but it makes it look a lot better with the collar up. This I got a while back from Renegade Motorsports, I believe it was. This new e-brake handle button. So we'll install that as well. This piece, I'm not too sure we're going to install this. I've had it for quite a while. Let's see if I can get it out. It's an Alcantara shift boot. Now, my leather shift boot, which I'll show you. Yeah, that guy's pretty worn. But I'm not so sure I'm going to install that Alcantara one, only because, I mean, nothing else in this car. Interior is Alcantara, so it's kind of clash. I plan on getting the seats redone, original leather, so those aren't going to be Alcantara. Maybe replace the wheel later. I don't know. We'll see. But, you know, it obviously isn't going to match with the handbrake cover and the pad, so I know I could change that stuff later, but I don't even know if I'm going to do that. So we'll see. We'll get to it, and we'll get into it, and I'll kind of decide based on that. But yeah, so I'll get all this stuff cut open, and then we'll get to work. Alright, so forgot to show you a couple other pieces that you probably will need. One is this insulator that goes under the shift, between the shifter firewall, I guess you'd call it, and the main cover. Another one is this ring that goes around the boot that's on the bottom of the shifter. You'll probably need these only because I see a lot of times these clips break. So I bought it. It's only like $5-6 at the dealer, so I just went ahead and got one just in case. But from everything I'm seeing, this thing just deteriorates no matter what. So you definitely want to replace this. This is the number for the insulator, and this is the number for the plastic collar. So just in case you need those, that's that. But this is how everything looks outside the bag. Got this, which is super high quality, man. I'm not mad I spent the money on this thing, especially coming with this brass bushing instead of it being plastic. So I know that's going to be a huge change. These pieces, I mean, everything's pretty solid, man, from them. So I ain't upset. I'll see, really get my real opinion on it when I install everything, and we'll go from there. Yeah, this is that collar from Hybrid, showing you guys the e-brake button, which I think looks a million times better than the OE one. And then new hardware for this, and it even comes with a little packet of grease for you to grease up here, grease all this up. So got that piece off, just a few clips on the bottom. a lot easier if you have some of these tools. You can get under there and just pop it off. This is that boot I was telling you about with the clip. So I'll show you how you get that out. And actually my insulator's not really falling apart. Although when you touch it, you push on it, it just starts to rip apart. So it is at that stage to need to be replaced. So I'll replace that either way and go from there. Alright guys, we're back at it. We grabbed a flathead screwdriver. So I really got to get like a GoPro head mount or something to make this easier. So to take this off, there's these little arrows, you see them right here. There's 4 of them. It's kind of dirty so you can't see, especially back here. Anywho, at each of these corners, all you do to get it off is you stick the little flathead in there. Between here and the boot, pop it loose like that, and it'll pop up, okay? It's kind of hard for me to do it one-handed, so I'm gonna sit you guys down and do that. Put some gloves on, because this thing is dirty. And I was leaving a little black stuff all on my fingers. So, cool. Set you down and we're gonna get to it. Next thing you're gonna want to do after you get that off is grab this. There's another boot down here. You can grab this boot with your fingers, pull it up, turn it, and then it'll give you access to the 3 bolts that hold the actual shifter down in. Alright guys, sorry I couldn't really have you looking at that while I was doing it, but that's that. 3 bolts out. Oh, spring is coming with it, so we'll have to drop that back in, probably clean it up and then put some new grease on it. Alright guys, so this is the old one obviously compared to the new one. I'd have to say height-wise, they're pretty much the same. It's not really shorter like I thought. Yeah, doesn't really matter to me, but I thought it was a little bit shorter. Yeah, I'll see how much different it feels when we get it in there. But the spring did come out with it, so I cleaned that up just with the brake cleaner, wiped it off. Gonna put some new grease on that, get that back in, clean the boot tub as well. That guy was pretty filthy, so I cleaned it up a little bit. Obviously, you know, nobody's gonna see it, so it's not that big a deal. But clean that up a little bit, so we'll start putting this shifter together with those, the grease and everything. Throw it in the car and see how it feels. It's in now, looking good. I just gotta torque these bolts down. I did go ham with the grease. I'd rather over grease than under grease in my opinion, so Alright, so it's all in there, torqued down. Feels good. Definitely shorter of a throw. That's for sure. Okay, got reverse there. So feels good. Let's put everything back together. Got to reinstall this piece and reinstall the boot. Alright, so installing this look pretty simple. All you do is use like a microfiber cloth, put it over this, use a vice grips or something along those lines, and you just turn it, and it should unthread, and then you just thread the new one in. Jeez, thing was corroded like crazy. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, that was getting pretty irritating, so I just took the microfiber towel off and just went at it. I jacked it up, but it is what it is. I ain't never gonna use this thing again, so in the trash it goes. Alright, now the new one, 1,000 times better looking. So just thread this on and that'll be all done. Alright, let's check that new one out. Yep. Make sure it's nice and tight. And yeah, my opinion, that looks a million times better. Alright guys, so that escalated pretty quickly. I was looking at this collar and at the shift boot, and the more I looked at it, the more I just seen how worn it is. And I'm like, man, that just looks terrible. And yeah, I just couldn't put it back in the car like that. So we're gonna put the suede one in, or Alcantara one in. I know it's not gonna match anything in the car, but it'll look a million times better than that leather one. So we're gonna put this one in, and yeah, leave it in for now. I mean, I may switch it up again later, maybe get a leather one with red stitching and go back that route, depending on what I want to do with the rest of the interior. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm gonna get putting this all back together, clean this up. I also got another piece I need to fix, which is inside here, the cup holder, bracket separator thing, whatever you want to call it. I do have a new one of those, so I'm gonna go grab that, get that installed, take this switch out, clean it all up, and yeah, get to reinstalling everything. So, all right, guys. So cleaned up this a little bit. We're gonna install this piece now, which is kind of pretty simple. You got this, you got the spring in here, you hook it up like this, and then when you install it, you gotta install it from the back, and it slides in, but you gotta make sure this piece of spring is on the inside. All right, so you gotta bend that in. So let's get this installed. All right, and it's in like that, and clips down. pops right back up, just like that. Boom. Now that piece is fixed. For anybody that needs the part number for that, that's right here. Yeah, I ordered it off a Honda dealer online. Pretty simple, but definitely was something that was bugging me that it was broke for the longest. So, yeah. Let's clean up these switches next, and then I'll get to putting this hybrid collar together and putting it on this Alcantara boot. Alright guys, so that's installed. That looks a million times better than that leather worn out one. It was a little bit of a pain to get all these to line up with the boot, and then the boot not to stay on to get this on. Wasn't too bad. I did end up breaking one of the tabs on reinstallation, one of the pin things, and I did have to cut a couple of holes a little bit wider just to give them the room so they didn't snap. But all in all, it's a little tedious, but just take your time and make sure not to try to break any of these, and you should be good. Yep, reinstalled this piece. We'll put the switches back in, and then get the boot collar on, and then we'll reinstall the whole thing in the car. Alright guys, so now last piece we got to install is the hybrid racing shift boot collar. This should be pretty simple. Sweet. And that's it installed on the boot. And then next we go put it in the car. I didn't know what size it was, so I just grabbed an adjustable because I didn't feel like going back and forth 80 times. Get that out of the way. And boom. Boom. Nice and tight. That bad boy ain't going nowhere. Okay. Then, all you do from there, clip it up. You can even on the Honda, you can clip it like that so that it hides the collar. I'll show you guys a little bit closer. So, boom, that's one setting. And you see how it shows the collar. And then for OE shift knobs, or a lot of other shift knobs, I'm sure, you can boom, and it hides it. All right. And that's that. That's it, man. Everything's installed. shift knob, new shift boot, new cup holder divider, and Renegade shift kit all installed. Oh, don't forget e-brake handle. Alright, hope you guys had a good time watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and there'll be more content to come soon. So, alright, peace. Alright guys, so quick review. Just drove from the house to AutoZone, a couple miles away or whatnot. Initial thoughts, feels great. It is definitely shorter throws than OE. Still has that great S2000 shift feel. Just feels more raw, I guess you'd say. Definitely more wanting for you to bang the gears in a sense. Yeah, I think it was totally worth the money. I would definitely replace it, or I would definitely do this mod on every S2000 I owned if I owned more and didn't have this one going forward. Totally think it was worth the money. It's a high quality piece, and I love it so far. Yeah, so my thoughts are, if you can afford the money, or if you have the money to afford grabbing this piece from Renegade, I highly recommend it. Do you need it? No. Stock S2000 shifter feels amazing. Everybody that's driven one knows that. So, you know, you don't really need it, but if you got, extra funds and you're looking for a cool mod to do that, definitely up the quality a little bit, this is definitely one that I would support. Yeah, so I told you guys I'd do a review. I almost closed out the video without doing that, so wanted to go for a quick test drive and really get the feel for it. So, all right, hope you like it. And like I said, yeah, hit Renegade Motorsports up if you want to get this piece as well. Have a good one.